And lastly, fans are blaming Vladtv for Casanova's FBI indictment.
Yes, fans are stupid.
And they're demanding a boycott of Vladtv's, and they're asking all artists do not do interviews with Vlad because he is the feds.
I really be seeing stuff like that on social media, and I be thinking that that's bots. And the reason I think that's bots is because Vlad is not responsible for what comes out of artists' mouths. I don't care what Vlad asks anybody that goes up there. This is not in defense of Vlad. This is just this is in defense of any interviewers, period. You know what I mean? If you ask a person a question, it's up to them to answer it. Vlad isn't doing anything to incriminate these people. They're incriminating themselves.
Well, a couple of artists came out and said, I knew Vlad interviews were sus when I noticed I was talking to a laptop.
Man.
The Igor wasn't even in the room. He conducts that ish from a secret location. You never see his face.
So listen, I'm asking a serious question. Artists don't get held accountable in those situations at all? If an artist is volunteering information that could possibly get him jammed up, whose fault is that? Is it the artist or is it the person interviewing them? I would say it's the artist.
Yeah.
I personally think so.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with you guys who and women who incriminate yourselves in the music nowadays. Like, you know that they're using the music against you now too. So when you see these artists that are making songs about crimes they actually committed, that's stupid.
Yeah.
All of y'all are self-incriminating yourself. I don't even think that's how you properly say that. All of y'all are incriminating yourself. I don't have to say self-incriminating. You're incriminating yourself. Like, right. I just think it's silly to put that on the interview or put that on a platform. No, that's what's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, people believe the FBI reportedly used social media in Casanova's past interview with Vlad to indict him on the RICO charges. Well, I
read some of Cas's paperwork. They didn't name any particular platform, unless somebody can show me. I just saw what they said, interviews. And Casanova's a very outspoken person. You know what I mean? He's very transparent about his life. But he's not even indicted for anything he said in those interviews. Or am I tripping?
I didn't see
him say he was indicted for any type of stabbing or anything like that.
I didn't see that either.
And they got Casanova on 6 wiretaps.
You said what?
I read that they got Cas on 6 wiretaps.
Yeah, so
they don't need no interview.
No, not at all.
Like, what are y'all talking about? Come on, man. Let's be smarter.
What's good, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. You guys hear that clip there? Charlamagne the God talking with DJ Envy, and it seems Charlamagne is defending Vlad. Everyone get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Vlad, prior to all this with Casanova, this RICO case or any of that, going back a couple months, Vlad was already catching a lot of heat. The situation with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I'm sure everyone remembers, is very recently how that all went, but it ended up resulting in a lot of different artists, some getting involved right away, and then some getting involved after a little bit of time, deciding to cancel Vlad and to put the word out there for everyone else to not go on Vladtv, etc. We're talking about Royce the 5'9", my son, Noriega was one way down the road. Wanted Vlad to pull them videos down. He didn't. Lord Jamar, Godfrey, and many others. But it's been debated if that was affecting Vlad's platform at all. The analytics that people were pulling up, some were saying Vlad's numbers were going down a little bit. But now I'm seeing reports that for the most part, Vlad's channel is carrying on. But Charlamagne and Vlad had issues for a minute. They just reconciled and became cool again. And it seems Charlamagne is defending Vlad here. You guys comment. Let me know your thoughts about what Charlamagne was saying there. You know what I mean? This isn't a new conversation. For quite some time, people have been discussing some of the interviews that Vlad has, the topics that they get into, talking about crimes and things of that nature. Vlad has came out and said, he won't ever ask anyone about an open case. I mean, I don't know, Vlad always is puts the pressure on people. You'll see where he'll ask a question and then, he'll try and ask in a different way. Some have said it's almost like the techniques of a detective, but it's like a lot of people want to go on Vladtv, whether they like Vlad or not, for their career, they want to get on Vlad. You know what I mean? It's more exposure, like just someone popping in my mind right now, right? Poundside Pop, I'm sure you guys all remember, just like a few weeks ago, had a situation where him and Meek Mill were going back and forth. He was calling out Meek. Now, Poundside Pop is a rapper on the come up, trying to grow. Now we're seeing him on Vladtv, you know what I mean? So people are always going to go on Vlad and other media platforms at the end of the day to try to push their career. And Vlad really does pressure people sometimes. Like, it does kind of seem like you just got to kind of shut him down. Like, don't beat around the bush. Yo, I ain't talking about any of that. Move on to something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the way it seems with Vlad. From, you know, all the videos that I watch and everything, he just won't let up on certain topics, it seems like. But you guys comment. Let me know what you think about what Charlamagne was talking about there. He's saying it's these artists' own fault that they incriminate themselves, that they don't have to talk about anything that they don't want. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone is a grown man. But what do you think? Do you think that Vlad is trying to incriminate people, or do you think that he's just trying to get to the, I guess, controversial or spicy topics, or what? You know, like, jump in the comments. Let's talk. But listen, this stuff gets to Vlad, right? I'm going to roll a clip for you guys. Vlad was on No Jumper not too long ago, maybe summertime, and he actually brought this up.
I mean, I guess about as much. I mean, you know, we got bigger, so I guess we get it more to a certain degree. There's probably more like actual fake stories floating around. Like, there was this one about how the judge thanked ARAB for, like, thanked Vladtv to helping get ARAB locked up, which is not true at all.
That's the kind of thing that if you really just wanted to think up something that would go viral, that's the kind of thing you might come up with, because obviously no judge is going to fucking say that.
Right. I mean, there was a picture of a judge. I have no idea whether it's the judge in the case or there's like this old white guy, like, he's like thanking me for that shit. And, you know, I mean, I got it taken down from most of the known accounts, but there was like these kind of other bozo accounts, like my mixtapes and some other crap out there that like just wouldn't remove it. But
there's a couple of outlets that seem like they've sort of transitioned from real news to fake news over the past couple of years, which is kind of strange.
Yeah. Well, because you could get way more views that way, right?
All right, so you hear that there, right? Vlad was, as we know, ARAB is another individual who was on Vladtv, caught all kinds of indictments and everything like that. And a lot of people felt that it was all Vlad's fault. Now, the meme, you'll see a picture in this video popping up on the screen of ARAB and a judge, right? And you hear what Vlad said. He actually paid to have a lot of articles taken down, that it was like a meme going around where it was ARAB, the judge, and like he was saying, it said, federal judge thanks Vladtv for conviction of ARAB. Now, this was indeed not actually true. A judge never did that. You know what I mean? But Vlad actually, you know, did his due diligence and went about the process of having this pulled down. Because if you hear Vlad talk about a lot of things, a lot of the times where people criticize him and people don't like him, a lot of times Vlad will just say, hey, people can say what they want. People more or less hate on me, etc., etc. But I'm just doing me. But you see, in this situation, he actually took the time to get this stuff taken down. It's bothering Vlad. You know what I mean? But people are still going on there. I don't think people will ever stop going on there. I kind of like what Benny the Butcher told Vlad. If you guys remember when Benny went on there, Benny said, yo, man, you got a popular platform, and a lot of artists that are younger, they come from a different era, you know, where everything is kind of broadcasted, and they can't help themselves when they come on here. They're excited to be on here, and they want to talk about a lot of stuff. The spotlight's on them, and sometimes they go in a little too much. That I kind of like when Benny said that, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's let me know what you guys think once again about all this. It's surprising kind of to see Charlamagne stick up for Vlad. But what do you think? Do you think Vlad actually has a link to the feds? Do you think that Vlad knows that the feds use his interviews, or he's been in contact with them? Or do you think what Charlamagne is saying, do you agree with that more, that Vlad isn't responsible and that the artists, you know, should watch their mouth and be smarter? Let me know your thoughts on that. But, you know, talking a little bit more about this Casanova situation, as, you know, you heard Charlamagne talking about, he looked at a lot of the paperwork on the case. And, you know, a lot of people are showing these videos that he did with Vlad that were titled, you know, Casanova talks about stabbing a bunch of different inmates, or the robberies that he committed and things of that nature. And Casanova really did come in the game trying to push the image out there and let it be known that he was a goon. You know what I mean? That he was active. The whole situation with 6ix9ine, you know, I brought this up in other blogs that I've done about this federal RICO case. It's just kind of crazy and ironic that Casanova was calling out Danny Hernandez, 6ix9ine, you know, was really putting pressure on him. And then Treyway ended up kind of putting pressure on Casanova. They make up, you know what I mean? They do a song together, and now Casanova's in the same situation that 6ix9ine was in, and we're going to have to see how it all plays out. But if you go over the paperwork, the Casanova paperwork, you look into the indictment, man, it's, you know, there's a lot that the feds were watching. They grabbed a lot of stuff from his iCloud, showing him with members of the Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation. They got a lot of wiretaps of Casanova talking to members of the nation. They also have wiretaps of other people who are in prison that they say, you know, is evidence that Casanova's money was going into the nation. They got DMs off Instagram. I mean, they got a lot of different stuff they're using as evidence. Surveillance footage. I'm sure you guys might remember the situation where Casanova was arrested. You know, allegedly he hemmed up a woman, choked her out in a diner. There was some footage of the situation that leaked out. I guess a woman was eating, you know what I mean, went live. Casanova and his team came over. Cass, I guess, grabbed her phone, allegedly deleted the live. He didn't want to be on camera. And allegedly the other individual that was with him was a member of the Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation and ended up choking the woman out. They caught a robbery case for that. And, you know, that's another bit of evidence that's being used to say that Casanova was a member of the Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation. And, you know, like I was saying in previous videos, that's what they do with these RICO cases. The feds present the evidence and say, this is a criminal enterprise, a criminal organization. You know, they make money by illegal means, and then they establish a time frame. And we're being told in this case, it dates back to 2010, you know, up until present time. And basically, they're just saying that we've heard all the different crimes, allegations against Casanova and the Untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation, you know, narcotics, murder, guns, all that, fraud. But like I said, wiretaps, prison phone calls, pictures and different things out of iClouds, DMs, all that being used against them. It's a wild time we live in. It's a wild time we live in. Like Charlamagne the guy was saying, other artists, you know, we've seen where songs are used against them. I did a video on this channel maybe, I don't know, a little while back about that one rapper that made a song about a robbery that they did to the 2 Chainz I'm Different beat. You know what I mean? It's a different time nowadays. Everyone's got to be very well aware of what they're up to because the feds are watching. You know what I mean? Social media, all that. we know someone's watching, and it's nothing for them to just grab this info up. You know what I mean? Someone's watching at all times, everything we do online. We see it situation after situation, case after case. When the feds come into play, so much stuff is off social media, Instagram and all that, like with Tekashi. But in this case, we're seeing they're going into the iCloud and everything. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But hit the comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts on everything I touched on in this one. At the end of the day, do you think Vlad is the feds? And what do you think about Charlamagne coming to Vlad's aid? These dudes weren't cool for a few years. They just pieced it up recently. And here he is speaking up on Vlad's behalf. Let's talk about it in the comments. New viewers, sub to the channel. It's Jay Coffee Talk, blogging music, news, sports, and more. And I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.